this evening. First, a significant development in the Guyana-Venezuela border saga. The government is seeking the intervention of the International Court of Justice against Venezuela's controversial referendum plans. Then, a chilling discovery at the Sunset Hotel. A 32-year-old woman's lifeless body was found, igniting a full-scale investigation into what's being treated as an alleged murder. In local business news, we'll take a closer look at the progress of Port Morant's Oil and Gas Training and Hospitality Institute. Turning our attention to regional politics, Argentina is in the spotlight with its presidential runoff. And on the international front, nations from around the globe are convening to negotiate a vital treaty on plastic pollution, aiming to tackle one of the most pressing environmental challenges of our time. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for November 14, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, Guyana has approached the International Court of Justice seeking 5 provisional measures to prevent Venezuela's planned referendum, which Guyana views as a threat to the rule of law. Led by Carl Greenwich, Guyana's legal team has requested measures to remain in effect until the ICJ issues a judgment on the overarching border controversy case. These measures include preventing Venezuela from proceeding with its consultative referendum, excluding certain questions from the referendum, refraining from actions that would affect sovereignty over territories awarded to British Guyana in the 1899 arbitral award, and avoiding actions that could worsen or extend the dispute before the court. Venezuela's proposed referendum questions involve the rejection of the 1899 arbitral award and annexing of the Essequibo region. Guyana emphasizes its commitment to the international rule of law and accuses Venezuela of attempting to undermine the ICJ's authority. The hearing at the ICJ continues tomorrow, November 15, 2023. Meanwhile, police are investigating the alleged murder of a 32-year-old woman at the Sunset Hotel in Kitty, Georgetown on Saturday, November 11, 2023. Ramona Lal's lifeless body was discovered just after noon on Sunday with stab wounds. The incident occurred between 5:50 p.m. on Saturday and 12:15 on Sunday. Lal and a male companion, alleged to be her ex-husband, checked into the hotel at 5:55 p.m. on Saturday and were expected to check out at noon on Sunday. However, the male left the hotel alone around 8:15 p.m. on Saturday. When the victim didn't check out, the receptionist discovered her lifeless body at around 12:15 hours on Sunday. The scene revealed a broken Guinness bottle and a beer bottle, bloodstains on the bed and walls, and signs of violence. Emergency medical technicians pronounced Lal dead, and the body awaits a post-mortem examination at the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home. Detectives are examining CCTV footage capturing the victim and the male suspect entering and the male leaving the hotel. The investigation is ongoing. The government has been taking significant steps to address gender-based violence. One of those steps is the construction of the Hope and Justice Center, a collaborative effort between the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security and the Ministry of Legal Affairs under the Impact Justice Program. The center aims to create a welcoming environment for victims, offering a one-stop model where various services, including police, health, counseling, and legal assistance, will be provided under one roof. This initiative extends support to victims nationwide, with additional centers planned for regions 3 and 4. The establishment of the Hope and Justice Center complements existing services like the 914 toll-free hotline. Further, it emphasizes the government's commitment to combating gender-based violence and providing expanded access to legal aid services. If you or someone you know is a victim of gender-based violence, whether male or female, do not hesitate to call the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security's 914 hotline to get help now. Stick around when we return. Prosperity FPSO commences first oil production, and tragic demise of Ashmin Mahadi, shooting survivor, fiancé charged as investigations unfold.
Good girl forget things.
Who's
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. It's Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you who don't know nothing, with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. She shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Welcome back. The government has announced the commencement of the first oil production at the Prosperity Floating Production Storage and Offloading Vessel in Payara Petroleum Production License Area. Approved in September of 2020, the Payara development is set to yield over 600 million barrels of oil, with the Prosperity FPSO expected to reach a daily average production of 220,000 barrels once all 45 wells are operational. As the third project on the Stabroek Block, following the Liza Destiny and Liza Unity vessels, total oil production is estimated to reach 620,000 barrels per day. Anticipated contributions from the Yellowtail and Oaro development, alongside the ongoing review of the Whiptail project, are expected to propel Guyana to over 1.2 million barrels of oil per day by 2027. The government has emphasized its commitment to utilizing oil revenues to enhance public infrastructure, education, healthcare, and social programs, prioritizing sustainable development and responsible environmental stewardship for the prosperity of the nation and its people. We now turn our attention to the ancient county. The construction of the Port Morant National Oil and Gas Training Center and the Hospitality Institute is progressing well in Region 6, according to Chairman David Armagon. Foundation works are completed and structural works are nearly finished for both facilities. The chairman emphasized that the simultaneous construction of the two buildings is progressing smoothly, with additional work planned in the upcoming months. Upon completion, the facilities are expected to enhance business in the region. The project aimed to equip young people with skills for the booming oil and gas sector and hospitality expertise for the tourism industry. President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali initiated the construction in April of the previous year, with an overall vision to transform the region into an educational and investment hub, contributing significantly to the country's growing economy. In other news, Ashmin Mahadi, the 32-year-old woman who was shot in the neck by her fiancé just over a month ago, tragically passed away at the New Amsterdam Public Hospital on Monday, November 13th. Mahadi had been hospitalized since the shooting on October 1st, 2023, and doctors had anticipated she would be paralyzed even if she survived. Her fiancé, Neil Majumutu, a 29-year-old engineer, was charged with attempted murder and released on $500,000 bail. Mahadi identified Majumutu as the shooter in a video statement to the police from her hospital bed. The couple was preparing for their bridal shower and reception this month when the shooting occurred. Majumutu claimed an unknown assailant shot the woman outside the house. The investigation is ongoing, and Majumutu was set to return to court on November 8, 2023. However, he turned himself in earlier today. Don't go away after the break. Nations convene in Kenya to hammer out treaty on plastic pollution, and volcanic eruption could destroy Icelandic fishing town, says experts.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. He is Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, white spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document planting flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Raddy go into the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home. We also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Argentina's presidential runoff is less than a week away. The two candidates went head-to-head in a final televised debate, which could prove decisive, Al Jazeera's Teresa Bow reports.
The last debate ahead of the general election next Sunday. Sergio Massa, who is now Argentina's economy minister, and far-right libertarian Javier Milei squared off at the University of Buenos Aires. Milei has promised to shut down the central bank to fight skyrocketing inflation and dollarize the economy, for many an Argentinian version of Donald Trump. He attacked Massa on his inability to control the over 11% inflation rate a month and accused him of being part of a political case that has ruined Argentina.
Do you know what your problem is? That you blew up our income. With you as Minister of Economy, income fell by 33%, which had already been falling before Marcy.
Massa has the support of the powerful Peronist Party, labor unions, and he promises to fix the country's endemic economic troubles. He says Milei is a threat to democracy and will only deteriorate even further Argentina's economic situation.
What we're seeing is someone who, out of ideological prejudice, has put his own interests above those of Argentina and, on December the 10th, sits in Rivadavia's armchair and has to stop thinking about himself and his ideology and think about Argentina.
If latest polls are right, Javier Milei has managed to recover from the defeat on the first round of the election and has now a narrow lead over Economy Minister Sergio Massa. Elections are just a week away. Argentinians are in the middle of an economic crisis and people are filled with uncertainty about who is going to lead this country in the next 4 years. Teresa Bow, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
Internationally, negotiations on a global treaty to combat plastic pollution have opened in Kenya's capital. Last year, 175 countries agreed to write a UN treaty to reduce growing plastic pollution, but there are disagreements over how to achieve that goal. Al Jazeera's Malcolm Webb reports.
Swabra Mohammed's home city of Mombasa produces an estimated 500 tons of plastic waste every day. Much of it ends up in the nearby Indian Ocean, in its fish, and then in people who eat them. Swabra helps prevent that by collecting it from her neighbours. A social enterprise called Baus Taka buys it and sells it to recyclers.
It's a good thing the governments are meeting and we hope they'll support us. This project helps us to clean the town and to reduce pollution. It also occupies women like me and we earn money.
People living here say Baus Taka has helped to make the city cleaner in recent years, but the problem goes far beyond these streets.
The companies that produce and sell plastic are making money as the world's plastic waste grows every year. Here in Kenya, less than 10% of it is recycled. The rest of it ends up in the sea or in dumps like this. Campaigners say that community projects alone can't solve the plastics crisis and that the only possibility is a legally binding international treaty.
As representatives of 175 governments meet in Nairobi to continue negotiating the UN treaty, these protesters say the problem is far from solved.
Countries that are also beneficiaries of oil, or they produce oil, they may want to derail the process because they feel we are affecting the way they are the main source of income. Therefore, it is not a walk in the park.
About 60 countries at the summit are calling for binding rules to reduce the production of plastic, but major plastic and oil producers, including the US, say the focus should be on recycling instead. Rich economies have historically produced the most plastic, but poorer countries pay the price and end up with much of the waste. The negotiations are due to be completed next year. People are waiting to see if the treaty will change that. Malcolm Webb, Al Jazeera, Mombasa, Kenya.
And finally, hundreds of tremors have hit southern Iceland. Nearly 4,000 people have evacuated from their homes over fear of a volcanic eruption. Al Jazeera's Harry Fassett reports.
On the roads of southern Iceland, in the grip of a state of emergency. But the people in these cars aren't fleeing the danger zone, they're desperate to get to it.
It's unreal. It's like a very lousy movie. It's gonna erupt. But I just hope it doesn't start in the middle of the town.
Einar Dagbjartsson is one of 4,000 people who fled the town of Grindavik on Friday. He left with his 82-year-old mother after a swarm of powerful earthquakes and warnings of an imminent eruption.
Now, you always have to look at the bright side. Nobody's dead. And triple the size of Grindavik. People are dead in Gaza. Half of them children.
Emergency crews have given residents a window of just a few minutes each to collect important documents, treasured possessions. For Einar, an airline pilot, that includes his uniform. He's due to fly to the US on Saturday. Can you allow yourself to think about when you'll be back? And what's going to happen?
No, I'm not thinking about it. Just get my stuff. If it all goes, then we'll leave it all here.
The haste comes from the scientific predictions. An eruption within days is thought likely. If it comes under the sea, the interaction with the water would cause a huge ash cloud. Einar and his neighbours are worried about it happening on land, a possible huge outflow of lava that destroys their town. For the emergency workers overseeing this operation, this is a new level of crisis, even for Iceland, with all its geological volatility.
It's quite out of the ordinary. It's not something that we're used to, but it is something that we do train for and we have plans for.
Well, it's late afternoon now, not long before sunset, and still there is this enormous queue of people trying to get into the town. For some, it's a chance to try and get treasured items, what they need for the extent of this evacuation. Others, though, are worried about this being a last chance ever to see their homes. Harry Fawcett, Al Jazeera, Southern Iceland.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safe TV2 headline news for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.